we got wrong and understand it. Don't forget, yes, you do have quiz number 2 coming up this week. Double check and take a look at D2L tomorrow morning for your rest of your notes to be posted, so that way you can have the rest of the notes on D2L done. Please make sure you stay on top of your book reading. But also, we have a quiz coming up this week. We have an actual, find your quiz right there. We have an actual test to take that's online, so have the correct answers. I would make sure I write the correct answers. And then also, last but not least, at the end of the semester, we will have a semester exam, which is in person. You need to understand this material. It is not an easy semester exam. It counts as 30% of your average for the semester. So we need to make sure we pay attention. First thing is, when I toss an object up, if I toss an object up, I drop it or throw it. The moment it's released out of my hand, it is in what we call free fall, and gravity takes a hold of it. Now, gravity has a number of negative 9.81, negative because of direction. Meters per second square is the correct unit. Did you add the correct units? Then, after that, my vector arrows. I have, for an example, on this side a positive 22, but on this side is a negative 22. So I need to make sure that I have my correct units. Now, the positive means it's moving in the positive direction. The negative means that it's moving in the negative direction. That's all it means. Alrighty, so there goes my, hopefully that was an easy, cheesy question for us. At the top of it, it is called non-zero acceleration, which has a it has a zero velocity at the top, but yet it still has an actual number value of negative 9.81. At the top, on letter C, it says here, what happens to the velocity of an object as it's moving upwards? You can see that the velocity decreases all the way to 0. Then, as it comes back down, it increases. But why does it increase and decrease? Well, that's because the vector arrows on the way up are moving in the opposite direction, so we subtract them. And on the way down, the vector arrows are moving in the same direction, right? We have the actual velocity vector, and gravity is moving down. And that's the reason why it decreases, but on the way down, my velocity is moving, or my direction is moving down, and gravity is moving down. Yes, sir. There is no such thing as a positive gravity. Gravity will always be negative because it is being moved downwards in the downward direction. So gravity will always be negative. Gravity will never, ever be positive. And then don't forget, though, that negative is due to the direction, not a numerical value. Let's go to question number 2. Looking at question number 2, over here, on question 2, it says, here we go. Question 2 says a hiker travels 10 kilometers north and then travels west 3.5 kilometers. What is the magnitude? If you got it wrong because you gave me a theta, then you might need to box in the word magnitude like I did, and I wrote the word number only. Magnitude is a number only. So all I was looking for was the hypotenuse leg by using Pythagorean for that question. Number 3, though, look at number 3. If you only gave me one answer, that was incorrect because it asked for the horizontal and the vertical. That means we are looking for this leg and that leg. Now, you have to do SOHCAHTOA for one leg, but the other leg, I chose to do SOHCAHTOA twice, but you can choose to do SOHCAHTOA and Pythagorean if you want to, as soon as you have the leg of one of them. So it's up to you how you did that. But again, you needed to make sure that you labeled it and knew exactly the location of this one. Yes, sir?
I think you marked mine wrong.
How? Yes.
I said the opposite equals 6.7.
Oh, I did it. You got it right. No, you got it right.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, no, that's nice.
Are we gonna go to the lab because he did something wrong on the lab too? On the camera lab.
We are, but give me one moment. So horizontal and vertical. So when it comes to this number 3, so you need to give 2 answers. And don't forget, since this vector is meters per second, we also had to give meters per second as the units. Then the next one over here, my heart was hurt if you missed this question. The cat goes up the tree 15 meters, but there is no horizontal displacement. It just moved up. If you wrote a plus 15 because it moved in the positive direction, you're super awesome. But if not, if you just wrote a 15, that still indicates the positive direction. But there was no horizontal because the cat did not move side to side. Next part over here.
Can you hear my thought process on that question?
Oh, I'm gonna assume maybe you moved. Maybe you gave it a horizontal.
Nah.
Oh.
Before, I said.
You
one of
thought the
these
tail
gotta-
was wagging?
Nah, I was just like, one of these gotta stay 15, right? So I was like, okay, 15, 15.
Oh, okay.
50%.
Oh,
I'll take that, yeah.
Okay, you're right. One of them has to stay 15, so, but, okay. Gotcha.
I was struggling.
You were gotcha, you were struggling. Can I tell you that somebody did this, but here's where they went wrong. They went wrong because instead of having this their theta, this was their theta over here at the top. Let's read this because I think we are getting confused on the drawing portion. It says here that there's a 55-meter rope. So I went ahead and drew my rope. You can see that little squiggly line, and it's 55 meters. It told me that it's connected to the top of the building. Here's my building. I saw some people do some great buildings. Then it says here that it is attached to the ground 40 meters away from the building. Look at this. If this is the building, 40 meters away from the building. It asked me, what is the angle the rope makes with the ground? That is the reason why this is your unknown theta, not the top one. And I did get some people that did this, but unfortunately they were looking for this theta, the wrong theta. So hopefully this makes sense. We are looking for the theta. What do you do when you're looking for the theta? Don't forget to do the inverse, which is the second key. For an example, this situation is cosine. I think somebody tanned this and that was incorrect, okay? This had to be a cosine on it. So I got 0.73 and then I found the inverse of 43.11, okay? Again, though, for those of you that walked in, the actual answer key is already on D2L. I will post a blank answer key by this afternoon before I leave the building. So that way you can take it home and practice and you'll have the answer key also with you. But take a glance at this one. The actual airplane traveled this direction right here. Now, this is the direction. Why? The airplane was traveling with its engine at 130 kilometers per hour, but the wind was blowing it and pushing it north. So the actual airplane traveled northeast, okay, northeast. Now, if you did this drawing, I will tell you again, somebody got this wrong. I don't know who it was because this up here was their theta. Look at my drawing. What did I say before? And I'm going to say it again. We say the tail end of the tail end is where your theta is. The tail end of the arrow is your theta, not the head of the arrow. The tail of the arrow is your theta. So this is your theta. Again, just like up here, you had to do the inverse, which was that second key, tan. Okay, so just in case if you were looking for the wrong theta, that's why you got it incorrect. The next one over here. Now take a glance. That if you just looked at it really quick, you may have thought that was an F. Somebody wrote something and I took like a triple take, a quadruple look, and it looked like an F, and I was hoping it was an E. But when I took this quiz, take a look. I also circled the letter E, okay? So whoever it was, I did a little circle, I did a question mark, and I X'd it because it looks like it was an F. We are in high school. If I cannot distinguish your letters by now, or look at this, at least write it and circle it. Like, give me some kind of clue that what was I grading. It was kind of hard sometimes with our writing. It's very difficult to read some of our writing. Very difficult. Let's turn the page. Okay, here we go. The bicyclist. So it tells me here, how far did they travel? Meaning I'm looking for the distance. I wrote all my variables. Let's go through the flow chart. Was D ever used, talked about, looked, or searched? Given. Check. Was T ever used, talked about, searched, or given? No. So this right here is your actual equation. But somebody used a different equation. Well, guess what? I didn't want to count them wrong. So I got my calculator out and I did what they did, and they still got the answer, but their numbers were off a little bit. They did a two-step problem, which is perfectly good, okay? As long as you show me your work. For those of us who are just giving me answers on your homework, I'm to the point now I'm not going to give you any credit because I can't tell how you're getting those answers. If you get the same answer as me, I have no problem giving you that full credit, okay? But I need to see how you got there. Did I mess up, Josiah? On this one or the one below it? Because this one has two parts. So since there was two answers, I went ahead and gave 24 possible answer choices, and there was two answers, 1, 2. Because on this one, they wanted you to find the displacement. And in physics, displacement, if you need to write this in, is a vector. Vector is magnitude and direction. So this part right here is the magnitude portion, and this part is the direction portion, the theta. So that's the reason why you could have had there's two answer choices. The last one here was a DT, but look, this is at rest. So the only one it could be is this one at rest at the bottom, answer D. I know I went over it fast. I did video it right now, so let me pause that video for us.